Welcome, ladies, degenerates, and gentlemen. We are back. We got two college divisions for you. We are 2 days out from Thursday night, week one of college football season. We had week zero. I put out the video late. Hand up, my bad. So you didn't get our picks, but they both hit. Or my picks, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, anyways, we have week one starting here. We're going to do ACC and SEC today, and we're going to start off with the ACC. So let's get into it, my boy Big Rich.
let's get into it, man. I'm so pumped for football. You have no idea. Maybe I do. Maybe you do have an idea because you're probably just as pumped, but you know what I mean. Let's get it. So we'll start off the ACC with Boston College. I mean, what better fit to start off the ACC than our home state
Hometown,
team?
baby.
Well, the best team in our state anyway, which doesn't really say a whole lot because the only other one is fucking UMass.
It's not saying much at all, actually.
Not saying anything basically at all. But so last year, Boston College went 7-6, 3-5 in conference play. They won the Fenway Bowl, which I thought was pretty freaking cool. Um, their over under win total this season is 5 plus 105 to the over, minus 125 to the under. Bill O'Brien enters his first season as the head coach of the Eagles. Um, like I said, last year was their first bowl win in 7 years. They should have one of the better rushing attacks in the ACC. Their quarterback Thomas Castellanos struggled throwing the ball. 128th passing grade in the country out of like 134 teams, so it's pretty dog shit. But he ran for over 1,100 yards. So as a quarterback in college to do that, that is absolutely insane. Playing 12 games, 13 games. Um, they bring back running back Kyle Robichaud, who had 780 yards and 8 touchdowns, while adding Kansas State transfer Trayshawn Ward, who had 643 yards and 5 touchdowns. I think Bill O'Brien is in a prime position here as the head coach, and I'm assuming he'll have a very large role in either play calling or calling the offense. I think he'll take advantage of the rushing attack while coaching up Castellanos in the passing game. Because if they can get that rushing attack going in the passing game, I think this offense can be very good. Um, the defense will definitely be the weak spot for this team. Their head coach last year, Jeff Hafley, left the NFL. Defensive guy. He's now the Packers defensive coordinator. They allowed 28.3 points per game last year and allowed teams to score in the red zone at a 92% clip. That is pretty bad. Not pretty bad. That is actually horrible. 125th in the
That's
country.
terrible.
Yeah, it's awful. Absolutely abysmal. They do return 7 defensive starters, so expect them to improve. But we'll see. We'll see how the defense ends up. I mean, ACC seems to be pretty solid this year. I mean, I feel like the ACC always has really good offensive teams, and defense is kind of lacking, but we'll see. I do like how their offense looks, and I think they're offensively they'll be a lot better. My record prediction is 5-7. I have them right on that win total at 5.
Yeah. ACC teams are, like you said, definitely offensively strong and then top heavy in the fact that Clemson is probably the outlier where they always have a good defense and
Correct.
can compete with the other Power Five schools that are at the top. Um, let's run through the schedule.
Yes, sir.
They go to Florida State to start off the season, who just lost to Georgia Tech in Ireland.
Sick game. Like Aviva Stadium is so cool. That was a fun game to watch. I'll give Boston College a loss here.
Bounce
I think
back.
Florida State will. Yeah, I think Florida State's a good bounce back spot. They're playing at home, definitely a different environment than playing in Dublin.
Hmm.
I know they definitely traveled pretty well comparatively to Georgia Tech in that game, but um, playing down Florida State is just definitely a different atmosphere. But watching Georgia Tech, they ran the ball pretty efficiently early on, lost it for a little bit, and then got it back towards the end of the game. I think BC they might be able to take advantage of that. I don't have a number on the spread here, but I'll be looking at a Boston College potentially to cover if the number's right, but expect Florida State to win that one. So let's go 0-1 there for Boston College.
Yeah, and then they're home against Duquesne.
Yeah, they're probably going to win that one.
I would say so as well. And I think what you mentioned about the game in Dublin, I think for Georgia State, that's like as you get ready for the season, you know you have that big game starting off before
Mm-hmm.
everyone else. Like there's 4 games in week 0. Like that just kind of like heightens the intensity in camp and in practice and everything. So
Oh, for sure.
I think that was to be expected.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll go with you there, 1-1, and then at Mizzou is definitely a loss in my book.
Yeah, Mizzou's going to put up 65 points.
Yeah,
1-2.
we'll get to that later. I got to run down on Mizzou. They had a great season last year, but call it 1-2, and then home against Michigan State.
Give them a win there. Michigan State has struggled the last year or two. I think they're going to struggle again this year. So let's give Boston College win at home against Michigan
Yeah,
State.
that program is lost, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Kenneth Walker left. I mean, that year they were really good. They were like I think they're at some point they're like top 4 in the country, top 5 that season with Kenneth Walker, and then yeah, they kind of fell off the face of the earth last couple of years. I don't expect them to be a whole lot this season,
Yeah.
but
And then we go home against Western Kentucky.
let's give them a win there, 3-2.
At UVA.
I give them a loss.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good environment to get rattled in for sure. And then again on the road at Virginia Tech.
Give
Kind
them
of,
give them another loss.
yeah.
Three
So
and four.
3-4. Home
Mm-hmm.
against Louisville,
I give them another loss there.
3-5. Home against Syracuse.
I think here they right the ship, 4-5.
Yep, get that win. At SMU, who we did see in week 0, and they did not look very good, but they did win.
Yeah, they didn't look very good. I mean, they were 26-point favorites and they won by 2 points or something like that. So, um, but yeah, early in the season, things will change. I think they lose this one.
So what are we at? 4-6?
I think that is 5-6 after SMU because we
Five
gave
and
them so that's
six.
5-6, and then these last 2 games.
UNC and Pitt both at home are the last 2.
Correct. Was that 5-6? I definitely messed that up. 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4, 3-5. Do we have them winning at home against Syracuse?
Yeah, that was the right to ship game, and then at SMU.
Yes, right. The ship 4-5, 4-6.
Yeah.
I had them losing the UNC. I thought I had them beating Pittsburgh, which would put them at 6-7. They have 13 games.
No, that would be 6-6. You had them predicted at 5-7. So
Yeah. So there's one when I was going through it at first that I gave them a loss instead of a win. Um, but I mean, they'll be right around that win total. I don't expect them to go out and win 8 or 9 games. I think 7 is their absolute ceiling. But I kind of went hard on the boys and Chestnut Hill there.
yeah, well, you got UNC in there too, which I know you favor. So
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm
I don't
trying.
know.
I'm trying to find this line for the FSU game, but I cannot find it. Anyways, yeah, I mean they're right around that number.
Yep.
Like we said last week, it's college football. People can surprise us.
Yeah.
I think the numbers that are given out for the win totals are usually pretty accurate. So keep it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Not something I'll be putting my money on.
Uh,
California.
no, definitely not. Yes, California. This is one of the more weird conference switch ups going from the Pac-12 to the Atlantic Coast Conference.
All the way across the country, brother.
It's definitely a weird landscape in college football. Honestly think it's for the better. At the end of the day, I think we're going to have a lot more entertainment just based on week to week games. I think it's going to be just a lot of good stuff happening.
Yeah, matchups that you wouldn't see for sure.
Matchups you wouldn't see. It's going to be very interesting. I figured. I mean, like the other Pac-12 teams, they went to the Big 12, and went to the Big 10. Sorry, cat's going bananas. But
I got the spread. Plus 15.5 for BC.
oh,
That's current, which is Tuesday night at 10:30.
I was thinking like 17 and a half. I don't know, 15 and a half is a pretty fucking dead number.
Yeah,
If that ends up sliding to 17, we'll see. We'll see where I'm at during the week. But I do like BC on that side of things.
it's
I think
definitely
FSU ultimately wins, but
we have 6 days till that game, so it'll move
yes, it'll definitely
one way
move.
or the other. I just don't know which way.
Yep. Okay. Let me get into California here. Yeah. Keep things moving along. Keep things chugging here.
Yes, sir.
California, their record last year is 6-7, 4-5 in the Pac-12. They lost in the Independence Bowl. This year, their over/under win total is 6, minus 105 to the over, minus 115 to the under. Head coach Justin Wilcox returns for his 8th season as the head coach of the Golden Bears. The success of Cal relies on the focal point of the offense in running back Jaden Knott. Last year, he had 1,300 plus yards, 12 touchdowns. He also added 200 receiving yards and another 2 touchdowns. According to reports, Cal is in no rush to name a starting quarterback. The competition is between last year's majority starter Fernando Mendoza, 1,700 yards, 14 touchdowns with 10 picks. North Texas transfer Chandler Rogers, who had a very, very good year, 3,300 yards, 29 touchdowns to 5 picks. And C.J. Harris, a transfer from Ohio, who compiled little action for the Bobcats. I believe that Chandler Rogers will be the starting quarterback, and the offense should be very solid with him and Jaden Knott leading them. They returned 16 total starters, 7 on offense, 9 on defense. My record prediction is 7-5. I lean the over there.
What's the win total?
6.
6. Okay. I got the schedule up. They start at home against UC Davis. Probably a win.
Most certainly should be.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had a football team, if I'm being honest.
Correct. Definitely doesn't sound like a football school.
No, and then they traveled to Auburn in week 2, so we can go 1-1 there.
Yep.
Home against San Diego State.
I give them a win there.
2-1, and then another game at Florida State.
I mean, I schedule that in as a loss. I like to see how obviously these games play here in the first couple of weeks, but
Yeah, I mean, if we ran through the schedule after a week or two, everything could be completely different. But that's just
correct.
So
That is
we'll go 2-2 to start.
Yep.
Then home against Miami.
I'm high on Miami this year. I'll give them a loss.
I agree. 2-3 at Pitt.
I'll give them a win there.
3-3 home against NC State.
I think this is one of the ranked games that I gave them a win. Let's give them a win there.
Yeah, and I mean,
I like NC State, but
yeah, who knows if they're going to be even ranked at that point is the problem.
correct. Yeah. But
So 4-3, I believe.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4-3.
Then home against Oregon State.
Gave them another win there.
Ooh, all right. 5-3 at
Yeah.
Wake Forest.
I think they slip up here.
Yeah. So 5-4.
Yep.
Home against Syracuse.
Win 6-4.
6-4. Home against Stanford.
7-4.
7-4. And then they finish at SMU.
Give them a loss there for 7-5.
7-5. Yeah, I could see a 6-6.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State and NC State, one of those two, I can see them losing. So I'm kind of the
Yep.
same. Again, not something you're going to bet on when the total is right on the number if we go through the schedule. So
Yeah, absolutely. But one game that I think California could win that may surprise people is that Miami game. I am high in Miami, so I gave Miami the dub there. But I mean, Miami's traveling all the way to Cal. Historically, not a team that has traveled well, so um, I think California could end up winning that game. But like I said, we'll see when we get there.
that's correct. And we move to
All right.
Clemson.
Oh, Clemson. Let's pull up their schedule so I have it ready when we.
That's one of the marquee games to start off the college football season for real.
Oh yeah, I am definitely watching this one.
Oh, yeah.
So Clemson, the record last year was 9-4, 4-4 in the ACC. They won the Gator Bowl. If my memory serves me correctly, they started the year 4-4 last year and then ripped off 5 wins to end the year. Ended on a hot streak. Their over/under win total is 9, minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the under. I know Dabo's been there for a while, but I was reading this is his 17th year.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, and I was just like, it feels like 10. Like obviously, like I wasn't when I was fucking
Yeah, but
8 years old.
that's
I
our
wasn't huge into college
that's
football.
three
It's like,
quarters of our life he's been there.
yeah, yeah. But I was like 17. Like that kind of was eye opening there. Um, but so yeah, he returns for his 17th year. There was rumor circle that he could have been the potential successor to Saban at Bama. I never really bought that. I believe that was more just clickbait. Saban's gone. Who's the next best known college football coach? Probably Dabo Sweeney. So I think that was kind of
Pretty
just.
smart.
I think that was a lot. Yeah, Kirby Smart. But I think that was a lot of clickbait there. I never really believed that he would ever leave Clemson, especially after like the last couple of years, kind of not living up to the potential. Um, Cade Klubnik returns after quite the disappointing year for a 5-star recruit as he is.
Mm-hmm.
2,800 yards, 19 touchdowns, 9 picks. Added 4 rushing touchdowns. I mean, ultimately, it's not horrible. You'd like to see probably 5 to 10 more touchdowns and a few less picks for a Clemson 5-star quarterback recruit there. They lost Nate Wiggins in the first round, Will Shipley in the fourth round, Rook or I can never pronounce his name. To the second round. I'm not even going to try. Xavier Thomas, fifth round, and Jeremiah Trotter in the fifth round, and then Tyler Davis in the sixth round, all in the NFL draft. 5 of the 6 players that I just named were starters on the defensive side of the ball. Will Shipley being the lone offensive Clemson draft pick. Clemson year in and year out has one of the best recruiting classes, so they should not have any issues plugging players into those positions for this season. Expect the defense to be quite elite once again. As Fuski touched on, they're kind of the exception to the ACC, not having great defense there. Usually a very, very good defensive team. The offense needs to turn things around this season. Will Shipley to the NFL is a big loss, but they returned running back Phil Maffa, who finished just short of 1,000 yards and logged 13 touchdowns. The passing game needs to be a lot better if Clemson wants to compete for a spot in the revamped college football playoff. Their leading receiver last season only had 53 receptions and 531 yards. And this is this Clemson team, who has had unbelievable wide receiver talent over the years. So it's kind of unlike Clemson not having a player get more than 50 receptions and 500 yards,
Yeah. It's been a long time since we've seen them without a fucking elite receiver.
Correct. So they need someone in that room, whether it's a freshman, a transfer portal. They don't really do a whole lot of transfer portal stuff, actually, that I was reading. So with that being said, I think Clemson kind of struggles again. I think they go 8-4 again. Tough schedule at Georgia this week, at Florida State, and at Virginia Tech. So ultimately, I lean under. I'm not going to play it, but that's what I got for Clemson.
Yeah. I agree. Like you said, the defense is always good, but I think Klubnik will be better,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that'll be the difference. This team's not what they were a few years ago with Trevor and contender for the national championship. They are definitely the cream of the crop in the ACC, but that only gets you so far, especially now with the 12-team playoff.
Yep.
So I would agree with you, and I won't be placing a wager on that. However, even though I did just mess up pretty bad, I just used my DraftKings no sweat bet accidentally on Clemson plus 13.5 when I was trying to take Georgia minus 13.5. So I just wasted a no sweat bet and about $3. So
Oh no! What, did you cash it out?
yeah, dude, I'm not taking Clemson plus 13.5. Are you kidding me? I'm taking Georgia to
Uh,
win by 2 touchdowns in week 1 at home.
mhm.
Heisman hopeful, which we will get to, Carson Beck. This team is head and shoulders above Clemson,
Oh yeah, big time.
and I just can't believe I just did that. I fucking while you were talking, I'm very upset. But anyways, do the schedule. Uh,
Hey, we all make mistakes, Fusk.
yeah, I mean, I'll cough up the $3, but a no sweat would have been nice too.
Correct. So obviously they travel through Georgia. Wait,
Nope,
is this a neutral site game, right?
they're. Oh yes, you're right. Georgia is the home team.
Yeah, but is it neutral? Are they? I
In New
mean,
Orleans, maybe.
let me
I
look
think
this
it's
up.
in New Orleans.
I gotta look at this real quick.
It
Sorry.
is a neutral site. I want to say New Orleans. I don't know what I'm thinking of, but I think that's it.
I mean, not really. It's in the Mercedes Benz in Atlanta. So,
Atlanta. All right, I was close
but
enough.
like given,
So that's a home game for Georgia.
yes, I
Where's
mean
Clemson?
it will be. Clemson's in the very west side of South Carolina. So I mean
So
we're talking
yeah,
probably 2 hour drive to Atlanta. So I mean they're gonna have a crowd there.
60
Um,
40 Georgia.
yes, I thought you were just
Fans.
saying that. I thought you were just saying that was this your score prediction. I was like, oh shit, you
That
like
would
the
be
over, huh,
pretty
Fuski?
crazy. No, 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 not that.
Uh, but okay, let's go. Loss at Georgia. Well,
Yeah,
loss against Georgia. Let's say.
yeah. And then
Uh,
they're home against App State. That's a win.
yep, 1-1
Home against NC State.
win.
2-1. Home against Stanford, probably 3-1.
Yep.
At FSU,
This is a massive game for their win total here.
I'd say it's a massive game for both of them,
Yeah,
considering FSU has one loss.
correct.
That could determine the winner of the ACC. If FSU bounces back and plays to their standard, the standard of their program, I mean, that could be the deciding game.
That
So
could be.
yeah,
And it's pretty early in the year too. First week of October.
I'd say as
Um,
of now, we probably give it to Clemson.
okay, I'm with that. I'm
So
with
we're
that.
4-1.
Yep. At
Uh,
Wake,
at
five
Wake,
and
five
one,
and one. Home against UVA.
6-1,
Home against Louisville.
7-1,
At Virginia Tech.
loss,
Yeah, we got to give them one in there. So they're
7-2,
7-2 at Pitt.
win, 8-2,
8-2. Obviously, they beat Citadel at
nine
home,
and two,
and then at home against South Carolina.
10-2.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
if we
That
give
was
them
a
the
good.
FSU game, but that's a That's
Yeah,
like a November game in October, in the beginning of October. So
correct. Yeah, and dude, where else did I give them a loss? Did I? I might have given them the NC State loss.
yeah,
Yeah, when I was going
that's the
through it
only
at
other
first,
one that I
but
could see. They don't have, what's their strength of schedule?
not crazy difficult. I mean, it's pretty difficult just based off of those three road games. I mean, they got a tough draw going to Florida State, um,
Yeah.
playing in Atlanta against Georgia, and then to Virginia Tech, which Virginia Tech's gonna be a good team this year, and Virginia Tech's also a tough place to play. So that's a tough draw there. We could look that up real quick if you want to check out their strength of schedule.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out right now.
Yep,
I got it.
yep.
Their strength of schedule is 37th. So it's not terrible.
Not terrible. I mean, it's just because
Ooh.
they
PFF
hope.
has their PFF has their win total at 7.5.
Do they?
Yeah. 14th recruiting crash. 14th recruiting crash. Recruiting
Recruiting
crash.
crash.
14th ranked recruiting crash. Why do I keep
Yeah.
saying? I can't say that word.
Can you
Recruit
say class? Can you say class for me, please?
recruiting class.
Yeah. Year in and year out, they're gonna have a top recruiting class.
Third
But yeah,
in
the projected win
only
total
third in the
seven and
ACC
a half.
though. That's kind
Yeah,
of
that's true. That is
Florida
very, very
State.
true.
Florida State I can see, but I wonder who's number two. Hmm. Yeah, anyways, that FSU game is going to be either the downfall or the reason that they get a chance to play in the playoff, I think.
For sure. I mean, I don't. That's the thing though too is I mean, we should look at the top 12 teams from last year. Like how many three lost teams were in that top 12?
A lot.
Yeah. So I mean, if they end up going 9-3, they can win one of those tough away games, then maybe they can slide in there
Yeah, they're going to be interesting this year.
for sure.
Sure.
For sure. Let me.
All right. You ready to go to Duke,
Yeah.
your favorite team?
Oh man, don't even get me started. It's just different, because it's like, oh, what's going on?
What, you mean football? Yeah,
Yeah,
obviously.
football. It's just different because like people will say I am a fraud, and it's completely okay because I'm a Texas football fan, but UNC everything else, it's people will give me a hard time, especially down the south. I've told a couple people that
Oh yeah.
down here, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, you're a fraud. Like you can't pick two college teams. It's either one or the other." It's like I
Uh,
don't know. I grew up north where college football and college sports was trash, so I fell in
yep.
love with UNC basketball when I was
Suck at
younger.
everything but hockey.
Yeah, that's true. And I had a basketball in my hands most of my life, so there's that. And then my older brother loved watching Texas, so I don't know. I just felt the need to root for a college football team, and UNC sucked, so it's like cool. I like Texas when I was like 12 years old, and then met our good friend Brandon LaFave in college, and he was a diehard Texas fan. And Saturdays drinking beers on Myrtle Street, Fitchburg. That kind of upped the love for Texas. But
Understandable. I've
you know,
already told you about how I feel about college football. I will never pick a team because I don't want to be disappointed every year.
yeah. Now last year kind of sucked. That was
I'll root
disappointing.
I'll root for the local teams, but that's about all you'll get out of me. If they're good. If
Yeah,
they suck, I don't care.
yeah. But Duke's your basketball team, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't call myself a diehard fan. I was more of a fan in high school.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Fair enough.
Zion's electric, and I became a fan because of the Grayson Allen team, Grayson and Luke Kennard. That was
Oh,
fun
fuck,
because I'm a
fuck.
little white boy that couldn't do anything but shoot the ball, so that made me
You
feel good.
Yeah, you felt a connection there.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But all right, let's get back to Duke football. We talk about basketball. We're talking about football here. What the? Anyway, Duke. Fuck Duke. I'll say it every time. A record last year: 8-5, 4-4 in the ACC. They won the Birmingham Bowl. Over under win total 5.5. Plus 140 to the over. Minus 165 to the under. Duke enters this season with a lot of new faces. They returned 14 out of 31 players who saw at least 300 snaps. That is not a whole lot. A brand new head coach, Manny Diaz, coming over from Penn State. He was the D coordinator there. Manny Diaz, though, does bring a very aggressive defensive mindset. Penn State was the third most blitzing team in the nation last year. While Duke loses 3 defensive back starters, they should still be solid enough in the defensive backfield to allow Manny Diaz to dial up a lot of blitz calls. They lost Riley Leonard to the transfer portal, but they bring in Texas backup Malik Murphy to become the team's next starting QB. I think this is a great move for Murphy. We all knew it was Arch Manning's job next whenever Ewers left for the league. Malik showed a lot of potential in the little action he had last season, but struggled with decision making at times. 477 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Offensively, this team will rely on the running back duo of Jacques Moore. He had 675 yards, 6 touchdowns, and New Mexico State transfer Star Thomas, who had 653 yards and 4 touchdowns. I expect them to struggle early on to find their groove, but I believe by the end of the season they can turn things around and be somewhat of a respectable team in the ACC. My prediction is 6-6. I do lean the over, just based off of, it's 5.5, and I have them at 6. That's why I lean it. I'm not playing it. Fuck Duke.
Yeah, fair enough. Riley Leonard was an emerging star last season, and losing him is going to give a big reset to not only the offense, but I think probably the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, he went to ND, which we'll have to squeeze them in one of these conferences that we do. Probably do with the Big Ten, I'd say. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I would agree with you. They take a step back. They were looking very promising until he got hurt. So,
Yep. That's
uh,
kind of where the wheels fell off there. They were really good early on. Really, really
yeah,
good early on.
yeah, they were looking really good, and,
Dude,
and he
they
played.
beat Notre Dame, right?
I think that was the game he played injured in,
Yeah.
but they might have beat him. Yeah,
I think they ended up beating them.
I can tell you right now, actually.
Yeah, you got that up. I do
They
not.
lost.
Oh,
They
actually.
lost 21-14. Yeah, but they were 4-0 going into that game,
Oh, I do. Yeah. Yeah, that was it.
and they were home. But Riley
Mm-hmm.
Leonard was. I think he was like. I think he played a quarter or two, and then he had to come out.
It was the big game where they won last year. It was the first game of the year against Duke last year. Against Clemson. They went 28-7. That was the one I was confusing it with.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and they were in the ND game too, but I think I
Yeah.
don't know if he I don't actually know if he played at all, to be honest. I think he might have. But
Yeah.
anyways, they start the season at home against Elon. So that's
Give
probably
that give that a win.
then they go to Northwestern.
I think they lose that one.
Yeah, 1-1.
Two
Home
UConn,
against UConn.
Battle of the Blue Bloods. I give them a win there, 2-1.
I think so too. Yeah, UConn was make or they're in talks about going to the Big 12,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting, and I kind of like that because they're independent or
They are. They are.
in football, but are they still in the Big East in basketball, I think, right?
Yep. Big East basketball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they play
All
like
right.
Marquette and all them.
So
Georgetown.
2-1. Then they go to Middle Tennessee. I don't.
That's going to be a win ultimately. Um, I do see a slip up game for them, whether it's home against UConn or at Middle Tennessee. Maybe a scare in one of them, but I think ultimately they win both. Maybe maybe drop one. So let's give them 1, 2,
3-1.
3-1. Yep.
Then they host UNC, probably an L.
I don't know, man. UNC might be a little sketchy this year. They've been riding the coattails of Drake May, Sam Howell, Mitch Trubisky for the last 10 years. So,
They still got Mac though, right?
Mac Brown,
Yeah.
yeah, he's still there. It's just we'll see because we'll get into UNC. They bring in Max Johnson, transfer quarterback from A&M, who formerly was had like a 1 or 2 year stint at LSU. So he's not a bad QB. He's just not up to the standards of those three guys, obviously. But
All right, so we'll give them what?
let's give him a lot. Let's give him a win. As much as it hurts me to say, let's give him a win at UNC.
Okay, so then 4-1.
That's
Yep, 4-1.
4-1.
And they travel to Georgia Tech.
Loss.
L 4-2. Home against FSU. L 4-3.
Home against SMU. Let's give him a win.
So
5-3.
5-3 at Miami.
L 5-4.
5-4 at NC State.
L 5-5.
Home against Virginia Tech.
L 5-6.
And then at Wake Forest 6-6.
Yep. So yeah, they go on a very, very tough stretch there. They lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 games there.
Yeah,
Going into Wake
they would
Forest.
have to win one on the road against either Miami or NC State for me to I don't hate a 5.5 win total, to be honest. But
Yeah, especially at what is it, plus 140.
is that the fucking odds, really?
Yeah, it's a plus 140. I lean the over. I like the plus 140 on it. I just can't do it. Can't do it, especially with all the new faces, a new head coach. But I feel like that might help with having a lot of new faces with a new head coach. It's not like there's a whole lot of old dogs learning new tricks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, over 5.5 plus
So we'll
140.
see. We'll
I'm
see.
gonna throw a half a un on that. Lock that in.
Okay, you fucking Duke diehard.
Hey, come on.
Hey,
Well,
bet with your head, not your heart.
you
What the hell?
predicted them at 6-6. I could see them getting an upset somewhere.
Yeah.
They're on the rise.
That's upsetting them at Chapel Hill too. I gave them a win at UNC, so
No, they're home.
I don't want you to hear that I
They're home against UNC.
oh shit.
Yeah, buddy.
Go UNC.
Yeah, I'll throw a half a unit on that. Might as well. Just ride with them.
Sure. You do what you got to do.
Who's next? FSU?
Yeah, Florida State and Georgia Tech. Let's do them at the end along with SMU, just because they've already played a game. We can just do a breakdown of their last game and kind of go over their odds and what we think for the rest of the year for them after. So let's skip over to Louisville.
Louisville.
Louisville. Home of Justin Thomas. He went to Alabama, but he was born in Louisville, for those who are wondering that.
Jack Harlow.
Home of Jack Harlow. That's correct. But all right, 10-4 last year, 7-1 in the ACC. A very, very, very good year for the Cardinals. They lost the Holiday Bowl over/under win total 8.5 plus 125 to the over, minus 145 to the under. Let me catch my breath. Louisville had a very good season last year, winning 10 games for the first time joining the ACC. 7-1 conference record led them to a conference championship game, ultimately losing to Florida State. That was one of the most boring games I've ever watched in my life. They entered this season with similar expectations. Obviously, when you play in that championship game the year before, you expect to be there again. They're one of the most active teams in transfer portal this season, bringing in 31 players. Half of their projected starters are transfer portal additions. They were a very strong defensive team this past season, and they bring back their best defensive players, edge rusher Ashton Gillott and corner Quincy Riley. The QB play would be the biggest question mark for this Cardinals team. Tyler Shaw is one of the many transfers they brought in, and he is a tentative starter for this season. The seventh-year QB has one final season of eligibility and transferred over from Texas Tech. Every year since 2019, he has seen limited action, but last season he threw for 746, 7 touchdowns, 4 picks. Experience is what Louisville hopes Shaw can bring to the offensive side of the ball. The defense will lead the way for this team. I'm not super high on them. Record prediction is 6-6. Under 8.5 wins is one of my favorite win total plays of this season at -145. Juicy, but I do not see them getting to that mark.
Okay.
They are not winning more than 8.5 games.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you there. I mean, 10-4 last. And if I'm
I
being
just don't. I just
without,
don't think. What was that?
I was just gonna say without like going in and looking back, I couldn't even name you a player on their team. So
Mm-hmm.
I think they overperformed, and I specifically remember a game where I think it might have been NC State
Yep.
last year, where everybody bet on NC State, and I was on Louisville, which I might have even lost the bet, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
But
no, they definitely overperformed, and an 8.5 win total is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, especially we'll go through the sketch, but I don't think they. I do not. They will not reach this number. -145, under 8.5 wins. Lock it in.
Yeah, even starting against Austin P at home.
That's a win.
Yeah, give him a win
That's a win. I want to know Jacksonville State,
at
Jack
home
State.
again.
That's a win. Um,
Yeah, at home again versus Georgia Tech is probably an L.
I think that's an L because they're going to be looking ahead to the next week.
At
They play
Notre Dame.
at Notre Dame. So I think they go L home against Georgia Tech, L at Notre Dame. So 2-2.
Yep, and then at home against SMU,
Give them a win, 3-2.
at UVA,
Give them 4-2.
4-2 going home to against Miami,
I'm giving them an L.
4-3 at BC.
Either it was this game or the Virginia game. I gave them a slip up. But just for the sake of Louisville being the better team, let's give them a win.
So 5-3, and then at Clemson, L 5-4 at Stanford.
Win. They're going to lose one of these 3
6 and
games.
4 home against.
One of these 3 games at Virginia,
Yeah,
at BC,
three
at
on three on
Stanford.
the road.
They're going to lose one of those 3 games.
Yeah, and then Virginia's 2 weeks prior. Then they go 3 on the road in a row: BC, Clemson, Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
I could even see them losing 2 out of 3 of those.
Yeah, that's true. It's 3 straight road games. Oh
Yeah.
shit!
So,
Yeah, it's just a weird schedule.
yeah. Then they finish home against Pitt, and then at Kentucky,
Yeah, so I
which
think it's
also could be an L. Yeah, I like the under.
yeah. I just don't see them getting to that mark, especially with the QB play. I think it's going to be shaky at best, and to win more than 9 games in college football, especially in a power 4 conference, we can't even say power 5 anymore.
I know.
It's just you have to have solid QB play. I'm
Yeah, and they
sorry.
play they
I
play
mean,
an
you
SEC team and ND, so
mm-hmm.
that's tough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I 8.5.
favorite play.
I like the under there too. It's
It's juicy.
juiced a bit, but I think for a good reason.
Correct.
Okay, Miami.
Miami record last year 7-6, 3-5 in the ACC. Yet again, not living up to the expectations like at all. They lost in the Pinstripe Bowl. Their over/under win total is 9, minus 130 to the over, plus 110 to the under. Mario Cristobal enters his 3rd season as head coach of the Miami Hurricanes. I believe he is big time on the hot seat after getting a 12-13 record in his first 2 seasons combined. Miami is always one of those teams that has like that hype surrounding them entering the season. I mean, obviously that stems from those teams in the early 2000s. They probably the greatest college team ever assembled. So when you think of Miami, you think of that team. So I think every Miami team moving forward just has these crazy expectations. Like, when's Miami going to be back? When they going to be back? But anyway, they just haven't met those expectations. Never mind exceed them. With this being said, this may be the year where I think they can take that next step. Heading into the year, they own a top 10 running back, wide receiver, O-line, D-line unit, and landed a top transfer portal player, quarterback Cam Ward from Washington State. He is very fun to watch. 3,700 yards last year, 25 touchdowns in the air, 7 picks, 8 rushing touchdowns. I believe he is a perfect fit for this already very, very deep Miami roster. They also gained Damian Martinez from Oregon State, 1,185 yards, 9 touchdowns, and he joins Mark Fletcher Jr. in the backfield, 514 yards and 5 touchdowns. A very favorable schedule for the Hurricanes this season helps out. They host their 2 toughest opponents in Florida State and Virginia Tech, with their toughest road games being at Florida, at Georgia Tech, and at Louisville. Record prediction 10-2. I lean the over.
Yeah, Cam Ward is huge. Like you said, the hype is always there. It's just we got to see it first.
I know. It's one of those things where like I'm trying to be ahead of the curve here. I think they're gonna meet those expectations finally, but also it's Miami, so we'll will they hit those expectations? Probably not, but I believe in them this year.
Yeah. All right. Well, they start at Florida.
They're favored currently 2.5 point favorites. That was one of my tentative plays. I don't think I'm going to follow through with it. I think I'm going to watch this one. But for the sake of them being favored by a field goal, let's give them the win here.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, Florida has a lot of problems on defense, which we'll get into.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're home against FAMU.
Who?
FAMU.
FAMU.
Florida A&M.
Like I said,
Raptors.
who? 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. Then home against Ball State, 3-0.
Yeah, it's a good start.
At USF.
I think this is a tad bit of a look ahead spot. They host Tech the week after.
Mm-hmm.
I think they win ultimately, 4-0. But I wouldn't be shocked if they did slip that one. It seems like a perfect Miami slip up game.
Yeah, which they've known to be doing in the past.
Correct.
Then home against Virginia Tech.
Let's give them a win there.
5-0, traveling to Cal.
We were talking about Cal. This is a game where I was like, it's going to be tough after probably a big win against Virginia Tech the week prior, heading across the country to California. I think this is one of the benefits for California is that all these teams are going to be traveling, especially teams on a back-to-back roadie going to California. I think it's definitely going to favor Cal, but Miami is hosting Tech the week before, so let's give Miami a win here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like the win, and I think they lose next week at Louisville. Excuse me.
Okay.
So that's a 6-1.
Sure.
Home against FSU.
Let's give him a loss.
So
Let's give him back to back.
6-2, then they're home against Duke. That's a win. Bounce
Mhm.
back. 7-2 at Georgia Tech.
Give him a win.
8-2 home against Wake. 9-2, and then at Syracuse to finish up.
This could be a spot in the college football playoff, and they come out and play. I think they win.
10-2. The win total of 9.
9. Yep, 9. Minus 130.
Yeah,
Over.
they have to. Well, we gave them the win at Florida, but
Yep.
if they lose that game, then I mean, I could see them tumbling.
Yeah. We did give them the loss at
Florida,
home to Florida State.
yeah, but Miami in week 1 is Florida's going to get up for that game with Graham Mertz coming back. He's a top 5, probably a top 5 college quarterback
Think so?
this season. He's right up there.
I hate Graham Mertz.
I know, but he balled last season.
Yeah, he did.
We'll get into it. I did the SEC anyway, so we'll get into it. But that's a big game, is all I'm saying.
Massive game.
Yeah, it's there. It's there for the taking. They just have to start strong.
Yeah.
If they win that game, they go on a roll. Because they don't
Yeah.
have a decent opponent until, I mean, USF okay, but they should win that game, and then they get all the way to the end of November before they play a decent opponent.
At the end of November, you said?
No, I'm sorry, no, September.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, the end of November is their last game of the year when they play Syracuse.
Yeah,
Like, damn, they got a cakewalk, man.
I was a slip. Sorry.
Who they playing? Fitchburg State?
Number 375th ranked team in the nation.
That's the greatest thing ever. Like, dude, if you look quickly, like I looked up their team stats, Fitchburg State's for this past season.
God, why would you fucking punish yourself like that?
I don't know. We were at work. We were in a frost delay, and like we're talking about where I went to college and stuff like that. And Fitchburg football team came up somehow, and I got into how absolutely abysmal that team is because I was in the chain game with a couple of my other baseball buddies,
Oh,
and
that
just
must be fun to watch.
having to watch them play football every week was miserable, and I think they got worse.
Oh, 100%. Nobody's going there to play football.
No. But yeah, we're talking big leagues here. Fuck Fitchburg State.
Mm-hmm.
Go Falcons.
Go Falcons, baby. Another state school, though, NC State.
Oh, we're moving on.
Yeah, we just went through the schedule for Miami.
That's true. Yeah, it's late, man. These are untraveled hours for Rich usually. NC State, the Wolfpack. Record 9-4 last year, 6-2 in the ACC. They lost in the Pop Tarts Bowl. That's basically a national championship game playing in the Pop Tart Bowl. That's a iconic childhood nostalgic thing there.
What's your favorite Pop Tart?
I mean, as a kid growing up, I mean, brown sugar cinnamon. You know, throw that.
It's a classic.
It's classic. Throw that bitch in the toaster. Heat that bitch up.
I'm a s'mores guy, I have to say. I love brown sugar cinnamon, but s'mores is my treat.
Correct. I do like a little bit of a s'mores, but just to quickly take a sidetrack here. A few weeks ago, we got like a tropical storm down here, and they were talking like the storm could stall out, and we could see up to like 18 to 20 inches of rain. And I was like, God damn, that's a lot of rain. We might lose power. If we lose power, the fridge won't work. So we need some Pop Tarts. So me and Shan went to the
first thought.
we went to the store and we got a shit ton of Pop Tarts. And they had a flavor Snickerdoodle.
Oof.
Dude, it was
Okay.
fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic.
I would say that's adjacent to brown sugar cinnamon, and I can get down with that.
It is. It's just like a slight step up. Slight step up. Like a little, I don't know. But anyway, back to
our ACC breakdown.
That here is our NC State breakdown for the year. Snickerdoodle Pop Tarts.
Snickerdoodle ACC kid.
But like, dude, that'd be sick. I'd love to play in the Pop Tart Bowl. That'd be
Oh
awesome.
fuck yeah.
It'd be great. Better than the Birmingham Bowl. Like what? Over under win total for NC State is 8.5, minus 130, slightly juiced to the over, plus 110 to the under. They have been one of the more consistent teams in the ACC while winning at least 8 games in 6 of the last 7 seasons. Dave Doran enters his 12th season as head coach. They compiled 9 wins last year while not having a great passing offense. With that being said, they bring in transfer quarterback Grayson McCall, who struggled last year at Coastal Carolina. 1,900 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 picks. But from 2020 to 2022, he threw for 77 touchdowns versus only 8 picks. So they're bringing in an experienced guy who's clearly very talented. I know while he was at Coastal, he wasn't playing ACC talent, but nonetheless, he is better than what NC State had last year. They also bring in Justin Jolly, tight end, 53 catches, 578 yards, 2 touchdowns last year. The NC State defense will be the anchor of this team. They bring back 4 defensive backs who logged over 500 snaps and brought in Ohio State slot corner Jahad Carter and Auburn safety Donovan Kaufman. I think we can expect more of the same from this NC State team. I can see them getting to 10 wins and challenging the top of this conference. I think that's their ceiling is 10. Record prediction 9-3. Slightly lean the over, not playing it.
Yeah. They start at home against WCU, which I have to click on to figure out who that is. West Carolina.
Western Carolina.
Yeah, I knew that. Oh, Western Carolina.
Yep, out in them mountains.
So that's a win. Then their neutral site, but the home team against Tennessee, which is an L. I'm high on Tennessee.
All right, fair enough. I when I was going through, I had them winning that one, but that's okay.
I think
Let's go
Tennessee
1-1. Let's go 1-1. 1-1 for the sake of
it.
For the sake of it, yeah.
And then another home game. Well, the second game was a home game. This one is a true home game against Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, they'll probably win by 30, 40, maybe 50.
2-1 going to Clemson.
Loss.
2-2 at home against NIU.
Win.
3-2 at home against Wake.
4-2.
4-2 at home against Syracuse.
Win.
5-2 traveling to Cal.
That's a win.
Only have 4 away games.
Yeah, dude. Favorable
Wow.
schedule. Very favorable schedule. So let's give them a loss there.
So 5-3 going back home to against Stanford.
Win.
6-2 hosting Duke.
Win.
Yeah, that was one of those games that I was teetering on for the Duke over, but yeah. 7-2 at Georgia Tech.
Give them a loss.
7-3 at UNC. That would be a must-win game.
Mm-hmm. But I think we missed
that would only get them to 8 anyways, for the win total being 8.5.
Well, they play 12. They play 12 games, and then we had them at 8-3. So we Western Carolina 1, LA Tech 2, Northern Illinois 3, Wake Forest 4, Syracuse 5, and Stanford 6, Duke 7. Yeah, that would have to be a must win. That wouldn't even be a must win.
Well, in terms of depending on how the ACC plays out.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I mean, if they're at 8 wins going against UNC, that'd be a must win for that win total. I can
Yeah.
see it happening. I'm not high on UNC this year.
I would almost lean the other way, to be honest.
You think? You think under?
If I was going to play one, I mean, getting plus money at 8.5, it was as we go through the schedule that
Yeah.
I don't see them beating Tennessee, Clemson. Um,
Yeah. So at 8.5, they can
and
only
then
they can afford 3 losses. So
yeah, but then so if they lose
Tennessee,
to those
Clemson,
two teams, then they have two away games against a Georgia Tech team
yeah, to
that
end the
I think is
season.
going to be improved, and then a UNC team in UNC, which is a rivalry game, so you never know.
Rivalry game in
Yeah.
25 minutes away from their campus.
And I could also see a slip up at Cal.
Yeah. Okay.
But a lot of home games there too, so
Yeah.
it's not something I would put my
Yeah.
money on, but I would lean that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Fair enough. I like.
Easy. They only have four away games and one neutral site. That's nuts.
Yeah. That is pretty fucking nuts. Um, I like obviously the schedule. I really like the transfer of Grayson McCall.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good
I like
pick.
how they're bringing 4 defensive backs who logged over 500 snaps and then added an Ohio State and an Auburn transfer to that defensive backfield. So I think
100%.
defensively they're going to be really good. Their offense should improve. So a team that went 9-4 last year with that defense coming back and improving on the offense side of the ball, I think they have a good chance of doing it again. But we'll see. We will see. We differ in opinions there, but we will see.
No, that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing. Absolutely not a bad thing.
UNC, baby. Your golden child.
The Tar Heels. Sure, talking hoop right now. Getting me excited for hoop.
We got a long way to go. We haven't even reached week one.
I know. Love Tar Heel basketball. All right, UNC. Last year they went 8-5, 4-4 in the ACC. They lost to Duke's Mayo Bowl. I mean, it's the Mayo Bowl. Who gives a fuck?
I have a question for you.
Over and under. Let's hear it.
Have you ever had Duke's Mayo? I know it's a Southern thing.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if we have Duke's Mayo in the fridge right now. I think we might have cheaped out and went Food Lion mayonnaise. I'm not a big mayo guy to
I don't even
begin
know what
with.
that is. I like mayo, but I've
Food
never had
Lion?
Duke's. Food Lion. No, I don't know what that is.
It's just it's like your Hannaford's or your Market Basket. It's probably more comparable to Market Basket
Okay.
down
Fair
here.
enough. I'm just curious because a lot of people say Duke's Mayo is the best mayo.
Yeah, I'm just not a huge mayo guy. I mean, if it's in something, you don't tell me I'm good. If you tell me, I start to get a little wigged out, dude. It's fucking it's egg paste.
Yeah,
I like eggs, but it just looks awful. Looks gross. It smells weird. Smells funky. Shan the other day, she
so
made
do
me.
eggs.
Yeah, eggs are fire though. Shan made me a grilled cheese. It was a phenomenal grilled cheese. I didn't watch her make it, but then she made me another grilled cheese. I watched her make it, and instead of using butter, she used mayonnaise on the
Yep,
on the bread,
that's a trick.
and it was phenomenal. And I watched her make it. I was like, dude, I don't know if I can eat that. But then I thought about it. I'm like, dude, I didn't even know it was there the first time. So
Well, if you think about it, if you use mayo for the replacement of butter, you're cooking the egg that's in the mayo. So you get a little bit of egg on the outside.
a little protein.
Yeah.
Wow, I did have chicken in there too. That was a whole lot of protein. But if you're gonna give me if I have to go Duke's mayo, what's the other mayo that's good?
Almonds.
Hellman's. Yeah, let's go Duke's mayo.
All right.
I'm a Duke's mayo guy.
I never tried it, so I couldn't tell you. That's why I was curious because we don't have it up here.
And next time you're down, I'll make sure I'll put some Duke's mayo in the fridge, and I'll make you
I'll
make
just
you
take I'll
make you
just
a
take a
turkey
spoonful.
sandwich.
It's fine.
Oh, dude, if you will not take a spoonful of mayo in my apartment,
Yeah, well,
I will not let
give a
that
shit.
happen. Fuck that. I'll throw up immediately. But anyway, UNC win total 7.5 -115 over -105 under. Mac Brown enters his sixth season as the head coach and has led UNC to 5 bowl games in his 5 seasons up to this point. Um, like I
Six
said, like I said,
feels like a lot.
yeah, like I said earlier. I mean, he had great quarterback play. Drake May, Sam Howell. Um, the biggest loss this past year has to be the departure of Drake May to the NFL, third overall pick to our beloved New England Patriots. Texas A&M transfer Max Johnson is this season's replacement at quarterback, but the offense will ultimately run through, Omari and Hampton, who's one of the most talented running backs in the country. 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns a season ago. Hampton will carry this offense as much as he can, but the O-line will be the biggest concern for this offensive unit. There's only one starter returns from what was a very below average unit a season ago. Max Johnson, like I said earlier, he's a Texas A&M transfer, but had a quick stint at LSU for his first couple of years. He had a very respectable season in 2021. I think that was the year post Joe Burrow.
Yep.
He threw for 27 touchdowns and 6 picks, but has not been able to replicate those numbers at A&M. UNC hopes he can return to his 2021 form to help replace the massive loss of Drake May. Ultimately, I'm down on them this year. Record prediction 6-6. 7 may be possible. I think that's their ceiling, but I lean under wins for the Heels.
Yeah, I would agree. They, like you said, the quarterback play has been unbelievable, but it has to come. All good things to come to an end, right?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Unless you're a UNC and Patriot fan. Hopefully, that's the progression.
Yeah, let's keep moving forward here.
They start at Minnesota.
Yes, I want to watch. I have this as a loss. I want to watch this game. I think Minnesota's plus 2.5. So for the sake of it, and we gave this one to Miami earlier, basically. So let's give UNC the win.
Okay, want to know home against
Charlotte,
Charlotte.
Charlotte, 1-1.
What? They lose to Charlotte?
Oh no, I in my mind I just have a loss against Minnesota, 2-0.
Okay. Yeah, I was confused there. I was gonna say.
What? They lose to Charlotte? Hey, you
I
never
was
know.
gonna say it's crazy. North Carolina Central at home.
They'll win that one.
I would hope so. Then home against JMU.
That's an iffy one. JMU's good.
Yeah.
They're home though, so let's give them the win.
So 4-0
Yep.
at Duke.
Loss.
I think we gave this to Duke. Yeah. 4-1.
So,
Home against Pitt.
win.
5-1. Home against Georgia Tech.
Loss.
Agreed. 5-2 at UVA.
Loss.
5-3 at FSU.
Loss.
5-4 home against Wake.
Win.
6-4 at BC.
Loss.
6-5 home against NC State.
Is that must-win game we were talking about with NC State earlier?
Yep.
Uh,
A win would put them at 7-5. A loss would put them at 6-6 for UNC's sake.
yes, both under the win total. So let's just give them a win. But I wouldn't be shocked if this team even loses under 6 games. So I don't know about this Minnesota game. I think they
Wins or loses?
that losses.
Yeah.
I think they could lose against James Madison. I gave them the loss at Virginia. They could win that one. I gave them the loss at BC. They could win that one. But ultimately, I just don't see a path for them to get over 7.5 wins. So I lean the under there.
I do not either.
Omari and Hampton, though, is nasty.
I know, but it's going to take a lot more than that.
Yeah, their O line sucks. Watching Drake May last year, and then watching his tape after the Pats drafted him, just there he was under so much pressure constantly.
Well, it's not much is going to change in New England.
No, unfortunately. All right, on to Pitt.
The Pittsburgh
Oh,
Panthers.
yeah, on to Pitt. Last year they were 3-9, 2-6 in the ACC. Over under win total 5.5, plus 110 to the over, minus 130 to the under. Last season was Pitt's worst finish in the 21st century, especially after winning an ACC championship game not too long ago with Kenny Pickett. Pat Narduzzi enters his 10th season. I don't want to say he's on the hot seat after one bad season, but I think they need to. I think they need to show some sort of promise. I mean, no, I'm not talking a winning record. I'm just talking maybe a game below, middle of the pack finish in the ACC for him to keep his job. They bring in a new offensive coordinator, Cade Bell, and quarterback Nate Yarnell returns after showing some promise in the prior season in his 2 starts to end the season. 595 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 pick. So he kind of showed out in his last 2 starts. Defensively, Pitt needs some younger talent to emerge after losing their top 3 defenders to the portal. Record prediction 4-8. I can see them improve overall, and I believe they have a favorable schedule. I don't feel strongly enough to play the under, but gun to my head, that's what I play.
Yeah, they start at home against Kent State, Kent State.
Win.
They travel to Cincinnati, who is pretty abysmal.
Yes, definitely
Could
not a great team.
could be a pick 'em.
It's going to be close. Let's give them. I think Cincinnati will be favored. Let's give them. Let's give them a loss.
Yeah, 1-1 home against WVU.
Loss.
Yep. 1-2 against who the fuck? Youngstown State.
I believe they're the Penguins. I think that's their mascot.
It is the Penguins. Yeah.
2-2. They're gonna blow the
Ooh.
doors off those Penguins. They're gonna
I
bring
would
those. They're gonna bring those Penguins to the Sahara Desert,
yeah,
smoke them out.
I would hope so.
Uh,
2-2 going to UNC.
that's a loss.
Yep, 2-3 home against Cal.
Let's give them a win.
3-3 home against Syracuse.
Loss.
3-4 at SMU.
Loss.
3-5 home against UVA.
Win.
4-5 home against Clemson.
Loss.
4-6 at Louisville.
Loss.
4-7 at Boston College.
Loss.
4-8.
Yep, I lean the under there. What was it? 5.5.
Is it 5? If it's 5.5, I love that.
Yeah.
Minus 130.
I
Yeah.
mean, they have a very, very favorable schedule. I mean, their toughest opponents being Pitt. I always do that.
Well,
Being Clemson and West Virginia, they both have at home. I see them losing those games, but
I
you got them
I
at
mean, I
home.
would argue after the first 4 weeks. I mean, I don't know. I like the under a lot, actually.
They got
Five.
a couple of cakewalks in Kent State and Youngstown State.
Yeah. So, but that's
They host. Yeah. I like the under. I like the under too.
I like the under a lot.
What's that one? It's plus money too.
No, it's juice to the under.
Is it? Did I flip flop that? What is it?
Minus 130 to the under.
I flipped that. I had minus 130 to the yeah, no, I didn't flip that. I'm just high on lack of sleep.
High on lack of sleep. I'm putting that in right now, though. I love that.
Cool.
What's next? Stanford?
Stanford. It's wild the amount of like good talent that's come out of Stanford.
This
Don't even think
conference
about it.
is way too big.
It's massive, dude. There's 3 teams we're skipping over.
Yeah, because they already played. It's nuts.
Wild. So Stanford, the Stanford Cardinal, 3-9 last year, 2-7 in the Pac-12. I wrote ACC here in my notes, but they did not play in the ACC last year. Their over under win total is 3.5, lowest in the conference. Minus 160 to the over, plus 140 to the under. Troy Taylor enters his second season as the head coach of Stanford. This past 3-year stretch for Stanford has been its worst stretch since the late 50s. Stanford fielded one of college football's worst defenses a year ago and did not land any help via the transfer portal. They do bring back star wide receiver Alec Iomanner, 62 tutties, 1,000 yards, 62 receptions, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot of talent on the Stanford roster. They have a very difficult schedule this upcoming season at Clemson, at Notre Dame, at NC State. Record prediction 2-10. I would like to see them improve, but I just believe the schedule is too difficult for them to make that jump, along with not getting a whole lot of help on this roster. So 2-10 record prediction, lean the under at plus 140. Not playing it though. I don't feel too strongly about it.
Yeah, that's really low, but the schedule is brutal.
Yeah.
Home against TCU, L. Home
Yeah.
against Cal Poly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those aren't like with a team with a 3.5 win total. Like those aren't gimmies either.
Right.
We'll give it to them, but like,
I'll give them Cal Poly. I
yeah,
had to click on them just to know who they were. I mean, I guessed correctly, but so we'll give them 1-1, and then they're at Syracuse loss, at Clemson loss, home against Virginia Tech loss. So they're 1-4,
yeah, at Notre Dame loss.
1-5, home against SMU, 1-6.
Yeah, I see them winning one of these next 2 games.
Yeah, I'll give them Wake for
Yeah,
2-6 at home. At NC State, 2-7. Home against Louisville, 2-8. At Cal,
2-9.
2-9, and then we'll give them San
Okay.
Jose for the 3.
Yeah, so we'll give them 3 wins.
Yeah, we can just move on from that team. That's fine. It's fine with me.
Yeah, yeah, we can jump straight into Syracuse. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
2023 record. That was last year, if you didn't know. 6-7, 2-6 in the ACC. Really struggling in the ACC. They're 4-1 out of conference. They lost in the Boca Raton Bowl. Over win total is 7, minus 125 to the over, plus 105 to the under. They have reached a bowl game in back-to-back seasons, but ultimately have had 4 losing seasons out of their last 5 campaigns. Fran Brown, new head coach, has entered the scene at Syracuse and is known for his ability to recruit. This has made an immediate impact as Syracuse has cracked a top 40 recruitment class for the first time since 2001. He was also able to land Ohio State transfer Kyle McCord. Defensively, the secondary is a strength for the Orange, as they have a handful of impact players returning. Justin Barr and Elijah Clark return at safety, both ranking top 3 at that position in the ACC. Offensively, the O-line will be the biggest struggle for the team. They are returning 4 out of 5 of that unit, but this is the same unit that ranked 110th in the country a season ago. I see them improving from last year. Record prediction 8-4. Not a very difficult schedule. Just need to take care of business in a few road games against lesser opponents. Lean the over.
Yeah, Kyle McCord's huge.
Massive.
And they start at home against the MAC, Ohio.
That is a win.
Home against Georgia Tech.
That's going to be one of those.
We'll say 1-1.
Yeah.
We've seen Georgia Tech once already. We haven't seen Syracuse, so a little biased, but 1-1, and then home against Stanford, we can go 2-1. Home against Holy Cross, 3-1. At
UNLV.
I could see. Ooh, I don't know.
UNLV had a really good year last year. Let's give them. I don't know. Let's give them a loss there.
So 3-2.
Yep.
At NC State, 3-3. At Pitt, 4-3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Home against Virginia Tech,
I have them winning that one.
5-3. At Boston College,
I have them winning that one.
6-3. At Cal.
Gonna give them an L.
Yeah, it's a long travel week.
Yep.
And then all the way back to Connecticut at, what do we say? 5-4 to Connecticut. No,
No, 6-4.
6-4 to Connecticut.
They give them a win, 7-4.
7-4, and then home against Miami.
Probably a loss.
7-5.
Yeah, I think I had them beating Georgia Tech earlier in the year, and that was also
Before they played.
before they played. So,
Yeah, that's the game right on the number, though.
yeah, that's it. Right on the number. They'll be around that number. I think they improve. I think they get another winning season at the very least. That they play in a bowl game. I don't think they will challenge the ACC in terms of going to the championship game, but we'll see. I think they improve. We'll see, though.
Oh, yeah, solid year. I would agree with that. Virginia.
Cavaliers. Tony Elliott enters his third season as head coach and is what we like to say on the hot seat. His first 2 seasons, he's compiled a 6-16 record. Their biggest weakness is in the trenches, as they had the third worst pass block rating in the country and the fifth worst rated D-line in the country. Offensively, they have a bright spot, though. Sophomore quarterback Anthony Calandria, who was just officially named the starter a few days ago. In 8 games last year, he was just shy of 2,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, 9 picks. I believe he'll have a lot more touchdowns and some less picks this year. I think just him getting older, more experienced, he'll be a lot better in that sense. If the O-line can improve and Calandria can make a year 2 jump, I think Virginia can fare well. Record prediction 6-6. I believe they'll make that jump. Play over 4.5 wins.
4.5. Yeah, that's pretty fucking low, huh?
Pretty low. I think they're due for a bounce back year.
Yeah, and they start at home against Richmond.
Win.
I've seen them play actually against URI.
Who won?
1-0 to Wake Forest.
I have them winning against Wake Forest.
I would agree with that. 2-0 at home against Maryland.
Let's go. Actually, no. Let's go back. I have them losing to Wake Forest.
Okay, so 1-1 to Maryland at home.
Win against Maryland.
2-1 traveling to Coastal.
3-1.
3-1 at home against BC.
Have them winning that one.
Ooh, 4-1 at home against Louisville.
Loss.
4-2 to Clemson. That would be 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
At home against UNC.
Win.
5-3 traveling to Pitt.
Loss.
5-4 traveling to Notre Dame. 5-5.
Mm-hmm.
Home against SMU.
I've been winning that one.
6-5 at Virginia Tech.
Loss.
6-6.
This is
Yeah,
one. I liked one of my other favorite plays from the ACC is them over
yeah.
them wins.
4.5 at even money is a solid bet.
Mm-hmm.
I will be hopping on that one with you.
My man.
Yeah, baby. And now VT, baby.
Tech. I like Tech football.
Yeah,
Enter Sandman is just so sick.
incredible atmosphere.
So sick. I honestly can't believe that that alone doesn't bring in more talent.
Tough to compete.
Yeah. In the middle of fucking nowhere. Um,
Yeah, Virginia's not the best place to be.
yeah, especially out where they are, Blacksburg, in the middle of the very western part of the state, bordering West Virginia. Fuck that. But anyways,
Morgantown, spot to be.
anyways, let's pull up their schedule real quick so I have that ready to go. 7-6 last year, 5-3 in the ACC. They won the Military Bowl. Over under win total is set at 8.5.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely a
That is
jump.
high.
Definitely high. Brent Pry enters his third season as the head coach. 3 wins in his first year, 7 last year. If you go by this, what's the word I'm looking for here? This pattern. Um, they should be winning 11 games, but they will not. Tech has one goal in mind, and that is to win the ACC. They have almost their entire team returning from last year. 25 out of 29 players who saw 300 plus snaps are returning, plus the 31st ranked recruiting class. I believe Tech is on the rise. For Tech to be a legitimate contender, the offensive line, with all 5 guys returning, will have to improve, though. They ranked 90th in the country a season ago. Kyron Drones is slated to be the starting quarterback this season. He had 2,800 yards, 17 touchdowns, and only 3 picks last year. Really smart with the ball. It's either all or nothing with this Tech team. My prediction is 10-2. Ceiling is 11 wins. Floor 7 wins. Play the over wins and potentially an ACC championship ticket is what I wrote down.
8.5. Yeah. They start at Vandy.
Win.
1-0 at home against Marshall.
Win.
2-0 at Old Dominion.
Win.
3-0 at home against Rutgers. Whoa.
I
That was
don't.
AI. That was AI. Don't worry.
I don't have you on video. Is your face drooping? You good?
No, I'm good. That was AI.
All right. Rutgers. They're at
Home.
home. Let's have them win. That's 4-0.
4-0, but then they traveled to Miami.
Loss.
4-1 to Stanford.
Win.
5-1 at home against Boston College.
Win.
6-1 at home against Georgia Tech.
Win.
7-1 traveling to Syracuse.
This game is fucking massive.
Yeah.
I think we gave Syracuse the win there. Let's give them a loss.
So 7-2. home against Clemson.
This is, also just as massive a game. They're home against Clemson. I'm going to give them a win.
Ooh, but you could argue a away game at Syracuse is a look ahead as well.
Yeah, it gave Syracuse the win there.
Yeah, this is a tough little stretch at the end. So what are we at? Eight? Eight and
Eight.
no,
No, we had them losing to
seven,
Syracuse and Miami, and that would
seven,
be
8-2.
yep.
8-2 going to Duke.
Yeah, they have a tough stretch here. Let's give them a loss here.
8-3 home against Virginia to
Win.
finish at 9-3
Yeah, I
with a
think.
win total of eight and a
Yeah,
half. Yeah, that stretch at the end is actually the whole. Other than Stanford, I mean, from Miami on is
yeah.
tough.
Once the calendar basically gets to October, they have it in for them, but it's not like they're.
They should have a strong start, which will be big.
It'll be massive, absolutely massive. They need to win against obviously Vanderbilt this weekend. They need that Rutgers win,
Mm-hmm.
um, and if they can get one out of Miami or Clemson, I think the over is a good play. I think they need to win one of those because I think they'll slip one against Duke or Syracuse.
Yeah, on the road,
So if they
especially
lose,
especially
if
with
they
the
lose,
games.
yeah,
The Syracuse game is probably the one hosting Clemson the next week.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be close, I think. But I think if everything goes right, they could end up winning 11 games.
yeah, it's there.
It's
It's there
there.
for the taking.
So especially everyone coming back, bringing everybody back, dude. It's gonna be a good team.
All right, the last team in the ACC.
We made it, kinda.
Wake Forest.
Wake, Wake Forest, run Forest, run. Last year they had a record of 4-8, 1-7 in the ACC. Dog shit. Over under win total 4.5, minus 160 to the over, which I find wild. Plus 140 to the under. Dave Clawson enters his 11th season and hopes to improve from what was an awful showing in ACC play. They had as many losses last year as the two previous years combined, but I mean, to be expected after losing Sam Hartman to Notre Dame and A.T. Perry to the NFL. QB play was abysmal for Wake last year, but should improve with a new starter from Louisiana Tech, Hank Bachmeier. Just over 2,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5 picks. They bring back Taylor Morin, who brings a lot of experience as he enters his sixth year in the program, wide receiver. 41 catches, 617 yards, 2 touchdowns a season ago. I don't want to mispronounce this guy's name. I think it's Demond, but it's spelled like Demond, Demon, with a D at the end.
We'll say Demond.
I think it's Demond or Demond. I don't know. Demond Claiborne is expected to be the workhorse back. Rushed for almost 600 yards and 5 scores a year ago. They bring back 3 starters to an offensive line that actually ranked 8th overall in all of college football a year ago. So I can see the offense improving as a whole with this transfer quarterback from Louisiana Tech, especially with this offensive line. I don't think they'll have a whole lot of issues moving the ball up and down the field. Defensively, though, Wake lost 4 out of their 5 starters in the defensive backfield. Expect Wake to struggle holding teams early in the season until they can hopefully fill those voids. Record prediction 6-6. I think they improve. I'm definitely being generous there. I'm gonna change that 5-7. I think they improve, but minus 160 is definitely way too juicy. and a win total.
Yeah, in this crazy conference with
Yeah.
how many teams? Fucking
Yeah.
105.
Yes, I'm definitely changing that win total.
Well, they start at home versus North Carolina A&T.
Win. You know who?
One and
Name
one and
one. Can you name a NCAA alma mater?
I believe there's a kid in my grade named Emmanuel that went there.
Huh, that's kind of cool, actually. I've never met a
Soccer.
single person who's actually ever considered going there. But
We
is
called him
that it?
we called him E-Man. Yeah,
E-man.
played
But
soccer.
at NC, A&T?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's pretty fucking cool. Wow. You got me stunned right now. I didn't think you'd actually know a single person that went there. I'm talking like actual like famous. Sorry, E-man, but you don't fit the mold right now.
I don't think he takes much offense, to be honest. But no, I couldn't, other than him.
I was blanking on his name for a second. J.R. Smith, after his
Oh
NFL
yeah, yeah, he played
career,
golf there, right?
he went over there and played some
Yeah,
golf.
yeah, I knew that.
Pretty cool.
Sick, bro.
Just a fun fact for the day.
Yeah,
You know, I'm
fun
got
fact.
some, got some of those random things lodged in my brain.
Shout out JR. I'll put the gif of him dunking on whoever he dunked on the Nuggets.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember to put deodorant on in the morning, but I can remember that J.R. Smith played golf at fucking NCAA. Like what? It's how the brain works, Fusky.
Oh, I see, especially right now. What are we, midnight? We gotta be midnight.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
we're
my
at
watch
midnight.
on. Anyways,
Yeah, we
1
got
and
more.
0, home against UVA.
Oh fuck, dude! I was supposed to do laundry tonight. Fuck. Oh, man, see, I forgot to do laundry, but I didn't forget J.R. Smith.
Yeah, we were also supposed to do the SEC tonight, but that's a no.
Yeah. Yep.
1 and 0 staying at home actually against UVA.
Um, did we give Virginia that win?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll give them 1-1.
1 and 1 home against Ole Miss. 1 and 2.
I don't know.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, I'm
Ole Miss
completely,
is gonna spank that ass.
I'm completely fucking with you.
1 and 2, another home game against the Raging Cajuns, Lafayette, Louisiana. No, not Lafayette. I don't know why I thought that, but
It's a win.
so 2 and 2 traveling to NC State.
Loss.
2 and 3 at home against Clemson.
Loss.
2 and 4 traveling to UConn.
Win.
Mhm.
UConn's not good.
I could
UConn,
see UConn.
UConn fucking sucked last year. I mean, Wake Forest didn't do any better, but
Correct. 2
give them
and
a win. Give them a
5.
win. You
No,
gave
no,
them a
no.
loss?
I'm just saying I could see them winning that game. Not that it makes a difference.
You can see UConn winning that game?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to give them a loss.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 and 5. Excuse me. And then they go to Stanford.
Win.
3 and 5. Home against Cal.
I can see Wake Forest winning this one.
4 and 5.
Yeah, I can
And
see him winning it. We'll see.
and then at UNC, at Miami, home versus Duke. Those are probably 3 losses.
Yeah. 4-8.
So yeah.
What did I put him at? I changed it to 5-7. Sorry, I got to fix this. Yeah, 4-8 is 5-7 is probably more likely than my original 6-6.
Yeah, I don't think they make it to 6-6 with that schedule. Let's
No.
see, one, two, three, maybe three should wins. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, we got J.R. Smith. They're gonna win that. They got, I think,
Smith.
Raging Cajuns. They should win that. Stanford. I mean, that's a conference opponent they gotta beat if they're gonna hit that win total. And
Yeah, but they go home versus Clemson, then they go to UConn, then they go to Stanford.
yeah, that's a back to back. That's
They could
fucking
be down bad.
yeah. That's probably a loss. Yeah, yeah. No,
They
five,
suck.
4-8, 4-8. I'm changing this again.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, I was everybody's goddamn best friend, fucking making these predictions. Shit. But yeah, minus 160, plus 140 for this under.
I would go the other way, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean I don't know. I think it's going to be close. I don't think they lose less than 4. They'll sneak 1 or 2 in. They'll win some of the games they're supposed to win. I think they'll be close to it. I'm not playing it. No
Def-
shot.
I would go under if I was gonna play anything.
Yeah.
All right. We're not doing SEC. Do you want to quickly run through the Thursday games?
Yeah. Do you just want to I mean, are we gonna get
I
another
have
one in
two picks.
on Thursday? I have 2 picks as well.
We can figure it out. We'll figure something out.
Okay. Should we? I mean, I just want to like.
I have-
Do you want to put our plays on this
I
now
can
for the
always
whole
yeah,
weekend?
I can always put our picks in
Yeah.
when I put the video up. That's no problem.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna read through all my plays.
I have two.
Let's start with Thursday.
Okay.
It'll be,
Thursday.
I have no breakdowns. It's just picks
Yeah, no, that's fine.
at this point anyway. I'm tired. I'm just gonna read them off.
Thursday, I have one pick as of right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Jackson State money line. Or no,
Okay.
not Jackson State. It's no Jacksonville State. Sorry,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
which I believe is at it was at minus 135 when I looked at it the other day, but I can't even find it now, which is fucking convenient as hell.
But you got it, man, with minus 135. So
Jacksonville State money line is my play for Thursday as of right now. I'll just put up a screenshot of what we end up putting in for the rest of the games if we have more. So
cool.
that's all I have for Thursday.
Thursday, I got UCF minus 40.5 against UNH.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other game on Thursday, I have Coastal Carolina plus 2.5. It's blanking who they play right
They're
now.
playing Jacksonville State.
Oh, so we are on opposite sides there. I got Coastal Carolina. You got Jacksonville State.
The Jacksonville State money line is currently at 140 minus 142. So
Okay, so it's
gone
creeping
up a
up.
little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Friday night potentially. I haven't put it in. Stanford plus 9 home against TCU. Probably not going to play it because Stanford's dog shit. But
Yeah, I
we'll see.
believe the other way there.
And then on 1 second, let me just check something. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't love it. Probably not going to play it ultimately. Saturday, I got Georgia minus 13.5.
Yep, that's the play I messed up on with my no sweat bet. I'm on the same side there.
Yep, I got West Virginia plus 8.5 hosting Penn State.
Yeah, that might be the best game of the weekend there.
That's going to be a really good one. I got Illinois State plus 22.5 at Iowa. Iowa has Iowa State the following week. So I think it's a little bit of a look ahead to that rivalry.
Nice.
22.5. I mean, it's seems low, but it's Iowa and points are hard to come by for both teams.
Yeah, and that total of
So,
41 is kind of
yeah,
crazy too.
exactly. Um, so that, yeah, Iowa State plus 22.5. Um, this seems weird to me. Seems kind of trappy, but I'm going to play it. Oklahoma State -9 hosting South Dakota State. Um, for a team that I think has a really good chance of winning the Big 12, only being 9-point favorites against an FCS school. I understand that South Dakota State is probably the cream of the crop of FCS, but I mean, I think Oklahoma State should win by 2 scores against this team.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw in another one on Saturday right before that game. I'm gonna take Tennessee minus 38.5 at home against Chattanooga.
Okay.
That's it.
Big
Enough.
balls guy. I'm
A lot
also
of big,
I got a
a lot of
couple
big
more.
spreads, really.
I got Ohio State -48.5. I think by the time the fourth stringers come in the second quarter, when they're up 60, they're still going to put up points.
Mm-hmm. Anything on
Um,
the Miami Florida game?
I don't have anything yet. It's one of those games where I'm going to want to watch it and I'm going to want to have
Florida's a
action
two
on
and
it.
a half point dog at home, which I kind of like.
Yes, I do too.
Cuddling.
This is like, yeah, Caudaline. It's like it's like one of my favorite spots
Yeah.
historically.
This is initial look too. Like I said, I'll put all the screenshots in.
Yeah, but it's like there's going to be plenty of Miami fans there. I mean, it's going to be loud. I mean, it's going to be more for Florida for sure in the swamp, but
That's also gonna be yeah,
it's going to be a great game.
yeah.
I mean, it's a tone setter. I mean, Florida has an unbelievably tough schedule, but it's an absolute tone setter for both teams if they can win it.
I kind of like the over 54 in that game as well.
But yeah, for sure. Um, and then I got Fresno State. Let me just slide up. I think that's a later game on the slate. I got them plus 21. Oh man, where is it? Oh, plus 21 at Michigan. Michigan the following week hosts Texas. Little look ahead spot there.
What
And
time's that?
then that's at 7:30 on Saturday. And then my final play is Arizona -31 points. They're hosting New Mexico. New Mexico just lost to an FCS school. So, Arizona, please,
Yeah, and
please beat them by 31 plus points.
we also have ND A&M at 7:30. Holy shit.
Dude, yeah, this is an unbelievable week one slate. I mean,
We're
obviously,
fucking back.
you got your games at the higher spread says there will be
Only
here.
one big spread. I mean, I got a 2 touchdown with Georgia, which should be easy. Jackson State money line at a decent price, and then I like Tennessee against another Tennessee. I'm high on Tennessee this year.
Mm-hmm. We'll
But
see.
ND, Texas A&M, West Virginia, Penn State, Florida, Miami. That's a hell of a goddamn slate for week one in
Mhm.
college
All right.
football.
And I can't wait to sit my ass on the couch and watch it all.
Fuck yes.
Yes, Sirski.
All right, we did it. Once again, good luck, everyone. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Sorry for the late night goofball activities that we have been doing. I'll make sure to put out the Pop Tart clip and
Oh, yeah.
Duke's Mayo clip and all that.
Fuck
But
yeah.
thanks for tuning in. We
Yes,
are
sir.
the Degents, and football is motherfucking back, baby.
Motherfucking back. Let's get it, dude.
All right. Peace.
Doses.